So there's a television show out there I just started binge watching. It's quite adorable. That's a key word here. It's optimistic. It's corny. But it's hopeful. It's called Ted Lasso. It's really quite good as a TV show where a small Southern football coach, Division II school wins, and I mean, it is beyond corny. But you suspend belief because you know it's not true, and the character is so infinitely likable that he gets hired by a devious owner of an English Premier League team, she's a great actress, to coach an English Premier League team, and he's never watched a soccer game. Again, it's not realistic, but it works as a TV show. It doesn't work in real life. Urban Meyer thinks Ted Lasso, and maybe that's because he's watching the show and he likes it like me, he thinks he's going to bring a tight end that hasn't played for 8 years. Oh, my bad. Tim Tebow's never played tight end. He's a quarterback. And I'm going to do a Ted Lasso impression here. If you think Tim Tebow, tight end to Jacksonville, works, you think Ted Lasso would walk into that locker room, well, boys, we got a guy's been out of the league 8 years, maybe 9, I lost count. He used to be a quarterback. He wasn't very good at that. He's a tight end. He's never done that. And he's going to set the culture in here. He's going to show us boys how to win. Oh, God, it's cringy. Tim Tebow is now at 6'2". There are no tight ends at 6'2". 6'4" is considered small at tight end. Is going to put his hand in the dirt and going to block a young man who is a pass rusher that weighs 25 pounds more and wants to put food on his table because he's got a new baby girl. And he's been cut by 2 NFL teams. And he wants to kick Tebow's ass because he doesn't buy his nonsense anyway. Because that defensive end would never have gotten a shot at baseball. He would never have been drafted in the first round. And he's putting food on the table for his baby daughter. And you think Tim Tebow's going to put a hand in the dirt and block him? Oh, that is so cute. This is awful. It's so collegiate. Folks, Rudy is a true story about a walk-on in college. Hoosiers is about Indiana high school basketball. This is the NFL. People wonder if Kyle Pitts, the new prototype at tight end, can block. He's 6'5" and runs a 4.4, and they will demand he blocks. Tim's 6'2". He ran a 4.7 40 8-9 years ago. He's never been as athletic as everybody hopes, and he's a good person, and he's corny and optimistic and hopeful. He is Ted Lasso. And I like Tim, and I've met his brother, bumped into him on vacation. I've said before, I'd put Tim somewhere on a roster maybe like 7 years ago, but this isn't going to sell. We know Urban. I liked Urban. I know Urban. I've known Urban forever. I've been saying nice things about Urban. Today's not one of those days. Okay, we all know Urban is smart and can coach. Good broadcaster, too. The question was always, does he understand the sensibility of the locker room? Saban really didn't. And Saban is sharp and Urban sharp. But when Urban tried to muscle through a strength coach from Iowa who had just been fired for abusive behavior to athletes and some racially insensitive stuff, as a little bit of a red flag. It's like, Urban, that's not going to work here. And that lasted about a day. It's like, you can't treat NFL players like that. They'll deck him. Okay, you can't sell Tim Tebow out of the league 8 years as a tight end. Now, maybe he's trying to get invested, get his pension or something like that. I mean, maybe that's it. But even then, you're taking somebody else's job. A head coach called me this morning. He said, does Tebow understand what it's like to block a defensive end? Does he own a mouthpiece? Come on. Again, Hoosiers, Rudy, Ted Lasso. I loved all of them. But they're TV shows or they're movies. And the reason you allow Ted Lasso to work, I mean, by the way, this shows you how unrealistic it is. It's shot in London, they say. The first 3 episodes, it never rains. It's sunny every day. Well, that tells you right there, it's not made in England. Or they pick the 2 days of the year it doesn't rain in England or is not cloudy. But you suspend belief because you like the story and it's hopeful. And so is Tebow. That's why everybody fell in love with Tebow. We knew he couldn't throw. He wasn't that athletic, but he was an easy guy to root for. Right? In America, everything's so negative and cynical, and Tebow was like Ted Lasso. He was so optimistic and so hopeful and chasing his dream. He was impossible for a lot of people not to root for. He put his religion out there. He was just it was like, players said, he's the guy you want your daughter to marry, so nice. But it didn't work at quarterback. And in baseball, where he was a great high school player with both and a great college player in football. Folks, sometimes I think it borders on disrespectful. I really do. I think you're going to try to take food off the table from defensive ends. Somebody's losing a roster spot because of this. Man, it feels like an eye roll to me. And I don't want to be negative here. I'm Mr., Uncle Colin is Mr. Positivity, glass half full. But boy, this just doesn't feel right. This feels like the strength coach with a nicer guy. It feels like a complete eye roll by NFL people. When I have coaches calling me this morning and going, the hell? Sorry using that word in a Tebow rant, but, it's not going to work.